Established in the year 2000, the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund (CEPF) is a joint initiative of l'Agence Française de Développement, Conservation International, the European Union, the Global Environment Facility, the Government of Japan, and the World Bank. CEPF brings together global institutional donors and non-governmental organizations working in the world's biodiversity hotspots to protect the biological diversity humanity depends on.
From 2016 until 2022, we made an investment in the form of grants to benefit the civil society organizations in the biodiversity hotspot of the Guinean forest of West Africa. So the Guinean forest hotspot is a large hotspot with many countries because it runs from Sierra Leone to Cameroon.
CEPF has so far supported civil society organizations in the Guinean forests of West Africa hotspot during 3 phases. The first 2 phases focused exclusively on the Upper Guinean forests hotspot, with $6.2 million disbursed through 72 grants from 2001 to 2006, and then with $2.1 million for another 5 grants as a consolidation phase from 2008 to 2012. The CEPF's donor council approved a third investment phase, this time for the entire hotspot to extend from 2016 to 2021 with $9 million. This was later increased to $10.1 million in 2018 and the investment extended to 2022. A total of 79 grants were awarded to 65 civil society organizations during this phase.
The Guinean forests of West Africa is a unique but threatened biodiversity hotspot. Forests have been and continue to be cleared or degraded for subsistence agriculture and commercial crops as well as for urban expansion, industry, and infrastructure. Other threats include unsustainable logging and fishing, hunting and trading of bushmeat, industrial and artisanal mining, pollution, and climate change. To help mitigate these threats, CEPF in 2016 entrusted BirdLife International to be the dedicated regional implementation team to provide strategic leadership for the CEPF investment in the hotspot.
BirdLife was well positioned to work with CEPF as the regional implementation team to deliver on the action plan as detailed in the ecosystem profile.
The ecosystem profile outlines CEPF investment strategies which are focused on empowering local communities, mainstreaming biodiversity conservation, safeguarding priority globally threatened species, and building capacity of civil society organizations, including indigenous peoples, women, and youth groups. BirdLife International, in collaboration with the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Fund, worked with civil society organizations and international NGOs in conserving forests and biodiversity in the Guinean forests of West Africa hotspot. This led to unprecedented results. Indeed, it is worth celebrating as the results and impacts documented across the hotspot were laudable. Let us take a look at some of these impacts. In Sierra Leone, the Conservation Society of Sierra Leone (CSSL) focused on conserving the Yauri Bay ecosystem in Sierra Leone's coastal corridor.
Being one of the eco guard and beneficiary for this particular project in our Tumbo community. The CEPF project, we get to know about that particular project through the implementing partner when the CSSL. We then come in our community one day and therefore invite the stakeholders them and get mobilization with them, able to talk with them and try to tell them something about it Yoruba and the important way in and also waiting inside the Yoruba one of the living things. Them.
We have also developed a 5-year detailed management plan with a financial plan. The project is also seeking for the designation of Yoruba as a Ramsar site. So with the CEPF grant, we have done as much as we could. We have collected a lot of information, we have done the socio-economic, the biodiversity, and we have started the Ramsar designation process, wherein we have compiled information on the offline form. We have filled the offline form for the Ramsar designation process, and we have also engaged the relevant institution, that is the NPAA, who can champion now, or who can lead the process of designating the Ramsar site, or the designation of Yoruba as a Ramsar site.
A project implemented by Biakwan Light, restoring the degraded Afi Mountain Wildlife Sanctuary in Bwancha, Boki, Cross River State, Nigeria.
Our program was to restore the degraded Afi Mountain Wildlife Sanctuary, which was ravaged by erosion in 2012. The community were displaced, they lost a lot of valuables, and most importantly, the natural resources base which they depend on was destroyed.
With the support from CEPF and BirdLife International, this project they have supported this project a lot on climate smart agriculture. They have trained us. If you go on the side there, we have the propagator. If you want to propagate the salad by stem cutting, they have trained us how we can propagate the salad. I personally have my own salad.
So this salad don't they help me for the training where they give me. Before I've been the cook plug for only cooking, but now don't they help me to sell and get money to support other problems in my house.
And we also have the land use plant already on the ground, which they have been guided. The site for relocations, the site for preservations where nobody go there. All these places have been mapped up. In case of subsequent thing happen, we know where to forge out.
Development Concern DEFCON worked with Isai community in Cross River State, Nigeria, to help organize the community to develop clear visions and objectives for forest governance, including biodiversity conservation. Isai has produced a community land use plan, including forest management plan, with bylaws to strengthen and sustain the protection of 20,000 hectares of community forests. In Sao Tome and Principe, the project implemented the Associate Sao Programa Tatu Mwala Kandia Women Light, promoting women's empowerment towards environmental conservation in Sao Tome Island. This contributed to the eradication of illegal networks for the commercialization of endangered and protected species such as sea turtles in Sao Tome Island. In Ghana, Man and Nature implemented a project that demonstrated the efficiency of the community-based conservation model and illustrated that synergies can and need to be created between conservation and economic development of local communities, from the population to the forest conservation by improving livelihoods. Arocha Ghana worked on the project protecting Atewa critical ecosystem through biodiversity assessments and participatory monitoring.
The CEPF project was a timely one for us because we are currently having an advocacy to save the forest from bauxite mining and to make it a national park. And so the CEPF project came to help us to gather more evidence to support our advocacy case. We've been doing this in a participatory manner, working with communities and also the Forestry Commission to gather information using smart tools.
And through the CEPF, we've been able to do a lot of assessments to upgrade the biodiversity status of the Atewa Rainforest Reserve.
Also in Nigeria, the Wildlife Conservation Society, WCS, focused on promoting alternative sustainable livelihood for local farmers in the Afi Mountain Wildlife Sanctuary, Mbe Mountains, and the Okwango division of Cross River National Park in Nigeria. The project contributed towards improving cocoa and bush mango agroforestry practices in these landscapes. The project helped to increase the income of local farmers and women while reducing rates of deforestation of the Cross River gorilla habitat. Also, the project deployed the use of the smart technology in the protection of the critically endangered Cross River gorillas at the 3 sites. Funding through this project allowed WCS to train, equip and support protected area staff on the front line of enforcement to conduct regular and effective anti-poaching patrols. African Research Association Development in Nigeria, ARADIN, advocated for a more sustainable forest use practices through promoting integrated traditional forest management and biodiversity conservation system and sustainable livelihoods options suitable to the temperate climatic condition of the Obudu Plateau. ARADIN and its project partner OPSCN worked in 15 communities to protect the last remnant of good forests in the community-owned areas and supported the restoration of the most degraded zones. The project also provided 400 firewood economy cook stoves to 400 households. This resulted in reduction of indoor air pollution from smoke and reduction of firewood consumption by 15 kilograms per day, thereby reducing pressure on the forest.
These supported organizations have successfully demonstrated that hundreds of thousands of hectares within production landscapes could be managed for biodiversity, conservation, and sustainable use of the resources. Looking back on the work we've done over the past 6 years, the mainstay for me is the lives that were impacted through the livelihood initiatives implemented. Putting a smile on their faces while conserving our natural resources and living in harmony with nature was the hallmark, or should I say the bedrock, of the 6 years for me and the team. The REIT will want to join her voice to the rest of the beneficiaries as we celebrate our wins to say thank you to the donors for the support and ask for continued support as there is still more to be done in this landscape.
Thank you, CEPF and BirdLife International. Yay!
My